Hey there, welcome back to Houdini for MoGraph. I've got a cool one today exploring a node called Solver, or the SOP solver as you'll hear me refer to it. So solvers are typically used in simulations to compute changing values over time. But when you're doing things at the SOP level, it only looks at the current frame. So what this solver node does is allow you to look at the frame before so that you can determine the current value. We're going to be going over this fading trail effect, but this node has plenty of other uses that we will definitely be exploring in other future tutorials. All right, make a sphere with a radius of 2 and really crank up the frequency. Give it a color and set it to black so that our values are at 0. And now make another sphere with a small radius and move the center 2 upwards so that it sits on top of our bigger sphere. Give this one a color too and set it to 1 just in the red value. And now you can make a transform node afterwards. And I'm going to type $F times 6 to make it rotate around our sphere. Drop our solver node and wire in the big sphere into the first input and the smaller one into the second, and then dive inside. So you're going to see that we have all our inputs here, as well as this previous frame node. This is where the power of the solver node comes in. It looks at the frame before the first input and lets you access its values. So we're going to use an attribute transfer node on the previous frame and hook the second input here to get the red from our smaller sphere. I'll bring the distance threshold way down and then the blend width up a little bit. Now if you come back up and you hit play, you can see that it's actually saving the value from the last frame and tracing where the sphere was. This is a cool effect, but it's not what we're going for. So let's set up that fade out. So if you go back in, I'm going to make a point VOP and wire a multiply node to the CD. And just wire that out and promote the parameter on the multiply. If you come back up, we have this value, which is going to basically just work as a decay factor. Essentially what it's doing is transferring the color onto this frame and taking the color at the last frame and multiplying it by this factor every frame so that 1, you'd give no fade, just like we currently have it. Value of 0 would just disappear the trails entirely. So I'm going to set it to 0.9, come back up, and you can see that we've got the cool trail effect that we're going for. I'm going to drop an attribute blur, set it to CD, just to smooth things out a bit, and then make a point VOP so that it can use this value. I'm going to make a displace along normal, hook up the P and the N, and then make a vector to float and wire in the red color to the amount. This scale value here is what will push and pull our geometry, so I'm going to promote that. I'm going to make a smooth node, and let's just drop an attribute delete so we can get rid of our color and see the effect that we made. There we have it. It's our trail effect going through geometry. So the SOP solver is super powerful, so definitely take the time to experiment with it, understand how it works, as it's definitely going to come in handy as we get into more advanced things. I hope you enjoyed this quick one. You can get some files on the site as always, and until next time.